St. David was a Welsh bishop of Mynyw during the 6th century. He was later regarded as a saint. He is the patron saint of Wales. David was a native of Wales, and a relatively large amount of information is known about his life. However, his birth date is uncertain. Suggestions range from 462 to 512. He is traditionally believed to be the son of St. Non and the grandson of Ceredig ap Cynedr, king of Ceredigion. The Welsh annals placed his death 569 years after the birth of Christ, but Philemore's dating revised this to 601. Monasticism. Many of the traditional tales about David are found in the Bucha Dewi, a hagiography written by Rhydderch in the late 11th century. Rhydderch claimed it was based on documents found in the cathedral archives. Modern historians are skeptical of some of its claims. One of Rhydderch's aims was to establish some independence for the Welsh Church, which had refused the Roman Rite until the 8th century and now sought a metropolitan status equal to that of Canterbury. The tradition that he was born at Henfynydd in Cardiganshire is not improbable. He became renowned as a teacher and preacher, founding monastic settlements and churches in Wales, Dumnonia, and Brittany. St. David's Cathedral stands on the site of the monastery he founded in the Glyn Rosyn Valley of Pembrokeshire. Around 550, he attended the Synod of Brefi, where his eloquence in opposing Pelagianism caused his fellow monks to elect him primate of the region. As such, he presided over the Synod of Caerleon around 569. Legend. His best-known miracle is said to have taken place when he was preaching in the middle of a large crowd at the Synod of Brefi. The village of Llanelwy Brefi stands on the spot where the ground on which he stood is reputed to have risen up to form a small hill. A white dove, which became his emblem, was seen settling on his shoulder. John Davies notes that one can scarcely conceive of any miracle more superfluous in that part of Wales than the creation of a new hill. David is said to have denounced Pelagianism during this incident, and he was declared archbishop by popular acclaim according to Rhydderch, bringing about the retirement of Dubricius. St. David's metropolitan status as an archbishopric was later supported by Bernard, Bishop of St. David's, Geoffrey of Monmouth and Gerald of Wales. The monastic rule of David prescribed that monks had to pull the plough themselves without draught animals, must drink only water and eat only bread with salt and herbs, and spend the evenings in prayer, reading and writing. No personal possessions were allowed. Even to say, "my book," was considered an offense. He lived a simple life and practiced asceticism, teaching his followers to refrain from eating meat and drinking beer. His symbol, also the symbol of Wales, is the leek. Llywelyn, if your majesty is remembered of it. The Welshmen did good service in a garden where leeks did grow, wearing leeks in their Monmouth caps, which your majesty knows, to this hour is an honourable badge of the service, and I do believe, your majesty takes no scorn to wear the leek upon Saint.He's day. King Henry, I wear it for immemorable honour, for I am Welsh, you know, good countrymen. Connections to Glastonbury. Rhydderch counted Glastonbury Abbey among the churches David founded. Around 40 years later, William of Malmesbury, believing the abbey older, said that David visited Glastonbury only to rededicate the abbey and to donate a travelling altar including a great sapphire. He had had a vision of Jesus who said that the church had been dedicated long ago by himself in honour of his mother, and it was not seemly that it should be rededicated by human hands. Sir David instead commissioned an extension to be built to the abbey, east of the old church. One manuscript indicates that a sapphire altar was among the items King Henry VIII confiscated from the abbey at its dissolution 1,000 years later. Death. Though the exact date of his death is not certain, tradition holds that it was on the 1st of March, which is the date now marked as St. David's Day. The two most common years given for his death are 601 and 589. The monastery is said to have been filled with angels as Christ received his soul. His last words to his followers were in a sermon on the previous Sunday. The Welsh Life of St. David gives these as Arglywyd Frodia Acquiorad by Dwchlywynachfychffydach Cret a Gawnewchwypeth by China Glywys or Chaka Wels or Chgenify, a Mynyw a Gurdaf Wyfordwyd Ethan Tadowidi, which translates as, Lords, brothers and sisters, be joyful, and keep your faith and your creed, and do the little things that you have seen me do and heard about. And as for me, I will walk the path that our fathers have trod before us. Quote, "Do ye the little things in life" is today a very well-known phrase in Welsh. The same passage states that he died on a Tuesday, from which attempts have been made to calculate the year of his death. David was buried at St. David's Cathedral at St. David's, Pembrokeshire, where his shrine was a popular place of pilgrimage throughout the Middle Ages. During the 10th and 11th centuries, the cathedral was regularly raided by Vikings, who removed the shrine from the church and stripped off the precious metal adornments. In 1275 a new shrine was constructed, the ruined base of which remains to this day, which was originally surmounted by an ornamental wooden canopy with murals of St. David, St. Patrick and St. Denis of France. The relics of St. David and St. Justinian were kept in a portable casket on the stone base of the shrine. It was at this shrine that Edward I came to pray in 1284. During the Reformation, Bishop Barlow, a staunch Protestant, stripped the shrine of its jewels and confiscated the relics of David and Justinian. Veneration. David was officially recognized at the Vatican by Pope Calixtus II in 1120, thanks to the work of Bernard, Bishop of St. David's. Music for his office has been edited by O.T. Edwards in Matins, Lauds and Vespers for St. David's Day. The medieval office of the Welsh patron saint in National Library of Wales, Mississippi, 20541E. David was also canonized by the Eastern Orthodox Church at an unknown date. Over 50 churches in South Wales were dedicated to him in pre-Reformation days. In the 2004 edition of the Roman Martyrology, David is listed under the 1st of March with the Latin name Davis. He is recognized as Bishop of Mynyw in Wales, who governed his monastery following the example of the Eastern Fathers. Through his leadership, many monks went forth to evangelize Wales, Ireland, Cornwall and Armorica. The restored shrine of St. David was unveiled and rededicated by the Right Reverend Wyn Evans, Bishop of St. David's, at a choral Eucharist on St. David's Day 2012. Local tradition says that during a battle against the Saxons, David advised the Welsh warriors each to wear a leek in his hat or armor so that the warriors might distinguish themselves from their enemies. Ever since then, the Welsh wear leeks every the 1st of March in memory of David. Iconography. He is usually represented standing on a little hill, with a dove on his shoulder. Reputation. David's popularity in Wales is shown by the Arms Prydeinfa of around 930, a popular poem which prophesied that in the future, when all might seem lost, the Cymry would unite behind the standard of David to defeat the English Elwyn and Glandewi Dyrchafond. David is said to have played a role in spreading Christianity on the continent, inspiring numerous place names in Brittany including St. Divy, St. Wyvy and Llanivy. David's life and teachings have inspired a choral work by Welsh composer Carl Jenkins,"Dewi Sant". It is a 7-movement work best known for the classical crossover series Adi Amos, which intersperses movements reflecting the themes of David's last sermon with those drawing from 3 psalms. An oratorio by another Welsh composer Hywel Hughes, also entitled Dewi Sant, was composed in 1950. St. David is also thought to be associated with corpse candles, lights that would warn of the imminent death of a member of the community. The story goes that David prayed for his people to have some warning of their death, so that they could prepare themselves. In a vision, David's wish was granted and told that, from then on, people who lived in the land of Dewi Sant would be forewarned by the dim light of mysterious tapers when and where the death might be expected. The color and/or size of the tapers indicated whether the person to die would be a woman, man, or child.